Welcome to this video demonstration of PushPong. PushPong is a generative sequencer built in Max for Live. It turns the push into a ping-pong style sequencer. To get started, just click Initialize Push on the device and you'll see that it takes over your pads. At any time, you can go back to using the pads to generate MIDI notes by just turning the device off. Okay, so with the device on, make sure Live is running, hit a pad, and you've generated a cell, and the cell bounces off the wall either left, right, top or bottom, and it triggers a note whenever it hits the outer columns or rows of the pads. Where it gets more interesting then is you can add more cells, that you can have 8 in total, and when cells meet, if they're on the same row or column, or they just collide with each other, they'll bounce off each other. We can change the timing of PushPong either on the device here or with the scene buttons. We can choose the overall velocity that is being generated by each note. We can control the length of the notes, and we can control the chance. So the chance is the chance of a cell bouncing when it meets another cell or changing its direction. So with zero chance, the cells will just continuously run and bounce off the walls, and it won't make any difference if they hit each other. But you give it a chance of 50%, for example. Sometimes they're going to change direction, sometimes they won't. So this is all global mode. What we can also do is switch to cell mode. So in cell mode, we can control the same parameters per cell. So I could say for the first one, make it quite fast with a lower velocity. This one can be quite slow, less chance of it bouncing. This one can be really slow, longer note. So you can start to create some interesting polyrhythmic stuff using PushPong. We can also choose the initial direction that a cell will start in. So if I just press clear, if I press up, they will always begin up. We can also control this with the arrow buttons on push. It will flash and show you what the current direction is. So if I choose left, if I go back to global mode, I could take the settings from global mode and I can copy them to cell mode and then work from here. I can change the direction of the cells at any point, and I can randomize the current position of any cell by clicking random. So PushPong was designed to be used with Live's MIDI effects. Initially, you'll want to use the scale object to force the notes that are being generated into some sort of scale, and this gives you huge access to lots of the different presets available for the scale object. You can, however, choose to edit notes, and we have this section pop up, and this lets us choose which notes are going to be generated. So you could turn scale off and specify what the notes are going to be yourself. You can either drag up and down on each individual note or set a minimum and a maximum, and then you can populate these notes either sequentially or randomly. cool effect to use with PushPong is the random effect to give you some variations in pitch. Make sure you put it before scale so that it still works musically. And also the velocity plugin. I'm using the Add Some Random preset here just to vary the velocity of the notes being generated. At any point you can turn cells off either on the device or using the push. All of the controls are available. PushPong gets even more interesting if you use more than one instance of it. So I have 3 here in live. You can switch between tracks and it will show you the current version of PushPong, the track that you're on. This one's using PushPong to trigger a drum rack. So there are 8 cells in total that can be generated. Once all cells are active, hitting a pad regenerates a previous cell from the new position. At any point you can still switch to session mode and see the session you're working on, or if you go to another MIDI track you can use the notes as usual. Only when you're on a track with PushPong on will we see the generative sequencer doing its thing.